Welcome to the NSL pre-match show for the NSL Finals here at the Specter Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The first ever NSL Finals coming up in just under half an hour. Jackson Bragman here, Sean Choi alongside. Sean, we are about to witness squash history here in the squash capital of the world, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. How excited are you, and how exciting does this place feel ahead of tonight's historic NSL Finals between the New York City Knights and the Nashville Dragons?
Oh, this is super exciting, Jackson, and I can't believe we're here right now live at the Specter Center as we see the players warming up. And really, what a battle we have in store for everyone here today. Hopefully, as we talked about, that shootout, perhaps, that could be in play.
Absolutely, and what a great matchup we have for you guys. We are going to be taking you all the way to the top of the match just after 5 o'clock p.m. We will be sticking with you for match coverage all night long. We have the trophy ceremony presentation to follow the match, so don't go anywhere following the conclusion of the match. And Sean, in the words of the late, great Norm Macdonald, all the stars are here tonight. We have two star-studded lineups, and we are very lucky to know that the two best teams are playing the NSL Finals this year. There's no question about that. There's no chicanery or shenanigans that took place this season. Both teams earned their ways here, and there's absolutely no doubt about that. And both teams in full force, fully healthy. Everyone's here, something that we haven't seen all season long. We are in for an absolute treat, and what an outstanding matchup it is sure to be here tonight.
No, it's really exciting. I mean, even with the matchups, I'm glad you pointed out how healthy everyone is. That's always a huge plus to see everyone healthy, and I know everyone's gunning for the win today, and also there's some individual stakes out here as well as we decide who the MVP is going to be.
Sean, who would you say are the MVP frontrunners for each of these respective teams? Obviously, we're going to go through the full lineups and talk about all these players in a moment, but just quickly off the top of the dome, when you look at the Knights, if they were to win here tonight, you have to imagine the MVP is going to be on the championship-winning team. If the Knights were to come out on top tonight, who do you think is in the driver's seat for that MVP award right now? And then for Nashville, who do you think has favorable odds to win the MVP if Nashville comes out on top tonight?
That's a great question, Jackson. I think it's really, on paper, I think a lot of hype has been around Mattias right now, Mattias Knudsen, with how well he's been utilizing the power plays as well as how he's just playing well in general. But I think not a lot of credit's been given to Sebastian Beaumolet, how he's inserted into this team lineup, and honestly, as the highest-ranked player, just showing his class, showing his ability to adapt into a different format. And I think that's understated, and hopefully we can see a shootout there. But on the Nashville side, I would love to see Timmy Brownell, the co-founder of the league.
League co-founder Timmy Brownell, his fellow league co-founder Spencer Lovejoy came up just short at Open Squash in New York City a couple weeks ago when his Newport Dragons took on the New York City Knights. The winner of that matchup was set to find themselves in this position in the NSL Finals here this weekend. So the Knights crushing the Newport Dragons' dreams, winning that matchup 4-0, and now it'll be Knights versus Crushers here in the NSL Finals. Let's talk about the full lineups for both of these respective teams, and let's kick things off with the New York City Knights. Sean, as we can see on court, we have two Knights. One of them, Mattias Knudsen, rocking the black New York City Knights jerseys that the Knights are going to be sporting for this final here tonight. And then Sebastian Beaumolet warming up in his white New York City Knights jerseys. He is sure to change in the not-too-distant future. So that's two-thirds of the New York City Knights, as well as the man from Scotland, Rory Stewart. Two of these individuals ranked in the top 50, and then the man Mattias Knudsen that you mentioned earlier, who might have the best odds to win the MVP award, the only one of these individuals not ranked in the top 50, currently residing at a ranking of number 95, but that might not be entirely accurate given his age, only 24 years old, a recent graduate of Drexel University, and given the injury history. Mattias has struggled with injuries this season, has been not too much different, and Mattias is kind of waiting to break through that glass ceiling, grab those brass knuckles, and insert himself into the world top 50. I think he can do it potentially by the end of next season, but totally stacked lineup for New York.
This league should be great for Mattias as he's venturing into a full, hopefully healthy season, knock on wood, that he does have a healthy season because we do love watching him play as he is box office. But it should be a good setup for him as he's gaining confidence and as we have other world-class players in the top 50, top 30. So should be a good test for him moving forward as we have the next PSA season upon us.
Absolutely, Sean. And here on your screens, you see the Nashville Crushers. We mentioned league co-founder Timmy Brownell. What a season it's been for Timbo Slice, up to a career-high world ranking of 29 in the world following his quarterfinal appearance at the British Open earlier this month. Also, last week was named the U.S. national champion for the second time in his career. Won it previously in 2022, won his second U.S. national championship right here at the Specter Center last week. 2024 marks the second occasion for him winning that U.S. national championship. Then, of course, the early bird, the gingerbread man, the firecracker, whatever you want to call him, Simon Herbert, currently ranked 56th in the world. He's 22 years old, one of the youngest players in the National Squash League. But he's here for a reason, Sean. Such an attack-heavy player. There he is, the gingerbread man. Look at him, pale as can be with that bright orange hair. 5'9", I tower over him, Sean. But regardless, he can kick my butt on the squash court. There's no doubt about that. He's an Englishman, but he doesn't play like a traditional Englishman. Very exciting, very explosive, attacking playing style. I like to joke, Sean, that he doesn't like to hit more than 1 or 2 straight drives in a row. Loves to mix it up, loves to mix in the cross court, loves to go short, and very hard to read that young man's game. So much promise and talent for him, working with Rob Owen in England right now, with Jonah Bryant, Paul Call, so many great prodigies right now coming from that Rob Owen coaching tree. He's gotten with Rob a little over a year ago, and it's done wonders for his game. So Nashville just as strong, even though New York might be coming in as the slight favorites heading into this final, Sean.
Yeah, I mean, what a lineup we have, especially for Nashville. I think a lot of talk has been said about New York Knights' dominance, and I think that it was fully in display against the Newport Dragons a week or two ago. And to see this should be a really good matchup between the two. But again, want to kind of reiterate the co-founder, Timmy Brownell, what a season he's had, as you mentioned, Jackson. Platinum event in the British Open. I mean, there are some ruffles about what he put in Mohamed El Shorbagy's drink for him to be out, for Timmy to make it to the quarterfinals, but we'll not go into that, maybe perhaps later. But again, regardless, 29 in the world. It's fantastic to see his rise up the rankings and him winning the U.S. National Senior Championship to cap off the season was fantastic to see.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been huge, and he's been huge for the Crushers all season long. And how cool must this be for Timmy, not only to partake in the NSL Finals as a player, but to see his vision of the past several years come to fruition, along with his U.S. national team training partner Spencer Lovejoy and league commissioner Fernando Valdezan. These guys have worked so hard to make this season happen and to make tonight happen right here at the Specter Center. So huge kudos to them. You mentioned that British final, quarterfinals appearance. The round of 16, he did get past Mohamed El Shorbagy, who had to drop out at the last minute due to food poisoning. So that's the esoteric reference from Sean, always very cheeky up here in the commentary booth. So, yeah, we don't know. Obviously, perhaps Timmy is poisoning Mohamed's drink. Who knows? Mohamed's seems to be okay now. He's getting ready for a big-time offseason.
I did hear the opponents today on the New York team stayed away Timmy the entire day.
Yeah, and I don't blame them one bit. Now, to be fair to Timmy, he did dispatch the world number 19, Baptiste Masadi, in the round of 32 in straight games, 3-0. So that was a huge result for him to close out his individual season. Now he's closing out his team season in the NSL Finals here this weekend. As we see the players warm up, Ronald Palomino for the Crushers, jockeying for position with Matthias Knudsen.
Ronald's been excellent for this NSL League, Jackson, hasn't he? He's really thrived. I think he's a name that's gone unnoticed, but wow, what a season from him.
Absolutely, Sean. And what's interesting about Ronald is he reached a career-high ranking of world number 70 just under 2 years ago at a very, very young age. He's currently, let's see here, checks notes, 25 years old. So at 23, he tore that Achilles, and was really rolling, playing some outstanding squash, and like I said, got up to that world number 70 ranking. Now he's down to that world number 130 ranking as he's battling back from that injury, but he's playing at a much higher level than that. There's no way you can watch Ronald Palomino and guess that he would be ranked outside of the top 100. He's really such a talented player, so tall. He's got that lanky wingspan. He loves to volley. So smooth out there. He's such a joy to watch, and he's been huge this NSL season, showing his value and his worth to the Nashville Crushers. He rounds out that Nashville lineup along with Timmy and Simon.
Jackson, a lot of nationalities being represented in this
point,
finals, and that we got France, we got Colombia, we got Scotland. We got England, and we can't forget the USA.
USA. USA, Sean.
We have a lot of international tournaments going on with the Copa America, as well as the Euros and the NSL. 3 amazing competitions.
Sean, how do you find U.S. is going to fare in the Copa Americas this year?
I have no faith, Jackson, in the U.S. national football team.
Interesting. And Sean, I know you're from Korea initially. Do you support the Korean national team more so, or do you support the U.S. national team when it comes to soccer or European football?
It's a good question. I do support Korea a lot more than I do Team USA when it comes to football. I think they're a bit more exciting to watch, and they have a bit more big-name players.
Well, I'm sure we share a favorite player because I'm a big Tottenham Hotspur fan, Sean. So, of course, Heung-min Son is
what a player he is.
It's a joy to watch.
Maybe more South Koreans in this NSL league. That's what they're lacking in.
Perhaps. Could be. As, obviously the 2 Colombians on court here, Matias and Ronald. They're good buddies. Matias from Bogota, which is the big squash hotbed within Colombia. Ronald from Cali, Colombia. There's definitely a squash presence there, but not nearly as much as Bogota. Bogota's where all the big names are from. Juan Camilo Vargas, Miguel Rodriguez, of course. So Cali, a bit of an interesting place for Ronald to come from. But yeah, it's a bit of a United Nations fest here in the NSL Finals, as is not uncommon when it comes to professional squash.
Jackson, which game do you fare better, Matias's or Ronald's, between the 2 of them?
Oh, it's a great player, and they are very different. Ronald is so smooth. Almost reminds you of a kind of bigger Kareem Abdel-Gawad, which is just a bigger frame and a bigger volleying presence around the tee. Obviously, a bit less skilled with the racket, but he's just so smooth. Glides around the court.
Very flattering comparison there.
Much like
Kareem.
Rory Stewart in a way. I wouldn't compare Rory Stewart to Gawad, but Rory is very light on his feet for a big man. Two of these guys are huge individuals.
I must say I have a bit of bias for Rory Stewart. I find him to be my favorite player here featured today.
Is that so?
So let's give him some love here.
I know you've interviewed him.
I have interviewed him when he had that amazing performance on the Commonwealth Games.
He's a great young lad. And to answer the initial question, I do love Matias's game as well. How could you not, with the attacking prowess? That's why he's been so valuable when it comes to the NSL this year, is because it's such a fast-paced attacking league. There is a clock for those of you who are joining us maybe for the first time. First of all, where have you been? You've been living under a rock, but thank you for joining us. We're glad to have you on board. Each period set to a given amount of time. So the first 2 periods, 20 minutes. That third and final period worth 30 minutes. First 2 periods worth 1 point each, and that third period worth 30 minutes. Or that third period, that is 30 minutes, worth 2 points. So no team ever out of it in the NSL. If you drop the first 2 periods, you can come back that second period, win, or the third period rather, win that third period and force a shootout. Which we've yet to see a shootout in the NSL. Sean, can you imagine our first ever NSL shootout here tonight at the Arlen Specter Center in the finals? That would be a joy, as we see Simon Herbert getting warmed up on one of the side courts here, nursing a bit of an ankle injury. He's all right and ready to go tonight, fully cleared by the medical staff here at the Specter Center, but wants to make sure that that ankle is in tip-top shape ahead of tonight's finals. And Matias, such a joy to watch because he does have that attacking playing style, which is favorable to the NSL format, because in addition to the clock, which is different from the target scores that we see in a best-of-5 format of squash, we have power plays, Sean. Why don't you tell us a little bit about power plays and how Matias is so suited?
Well, we've seen power plays numerous times over this league, but one addition that we want to reiterate for today's game is we trialed in the women's exhibition match where the team that calls the power play holds serve the entire time, and I think that works better as you want to capitalize on time in the 2-minute, 1-minute periods you have, where you can be the only team to score, which is what the power play is. But keep in mind today that
it's an interesting wrinkle.
Whoever is using the power play will hold serve the entire time, even if they lose the point. As we see right here, Matias hitting his drop shots, extending that leg for a slight block. I'd love to see that. Hopefully we can see that in action today. And Jackson, what I'm looking forward to today is there's always been a lighthearted first period amongst these matches, and I feel like given that the gravity and the magnitude of the final, it won't be a lighthearted first period.
No, I don't think so, Sean. I think, as you can see, Matias with the signature beats, he's locked in. It's another thing about Matias is he takes these things very seriously. He is not here to mess around, especially with the stakes on the line here at the NSL Finals. This is not going to be an exhibition feel. This is going to be a real contest with real stakes. first ever NSL champions. Can you imagine being able to call yourself the first ever NSL champions? That's history right there, Sean Choi. So I think both of these teams got to be gunning for that. Everyone on each of these respective teams is going to want to hear their names called as the MVP for this match as well. And then, of course, the financial incentives for the winners as well, and the bonuses that are at stake and on the line. Both of these teams getting a few extra shekels for just making it this far to the NSL finals. The winning team will see a handsome bonus as well for finding themselves as champions. So
Checks, you know,
it's all about the moolah, Sean.
You know, they say that usually when it comes to team sports, especially, I'm drawing comparisons here to the NBA, but usually the team with the best player tends to win. Now, I have a question for you. Who do you think is the best player featured in today's final?
That's tough. And it's tricky to go just purely off of world rankings because obviously we know how different the NSL format is to the PSA World Tour. So a guy like Matthias Knudsen, who's the 95th air quotes most valuable player on the PSA World Tour, which probably isn't true, even when you factor in the best of 5 format. In the NSL, you know, he's one of the best NSL players on the planet, whether some of these most talented players on the PSA World Tour are playing in the NSL or not, because of that attacking prowess, how valuable he is on a power play, where when the Knights call power play, they're the only team that can score points. So Matthias can just go for attacking opportunities, look to put the ball away. If he hits the tin, it's okay, it doesn't matter, but all he's trying to do is win as many points as he can as quickly as possible, not concerned with how many points the other team wins. So in this format, I think that you could make a strong case for him, but I'm still going to favor Timmy Brownell, who's the highest-ranked player for Nashville. He's ranked actually one spot below Sebastian Beaumaye, who's also an incredible player. We'll talk more about Sebastian over the course of the broadcast. Such an unbelievable, freakish athlete, such a powerful, explosive mover. Really moves so well to the front court and just all around the court in general, but especially to the 2 front corners. So I think we got to give Sebastian his love, but I think Timmy Brownell is red hot right now, as we said. An incredible 2024 thus far, an incredible season on the PSA World Tour, and I think he's going to carry that momentum into tonight's matchup. The world number 29, newly minted U.S. national champion, as we mentioned. Some huge scalpings and results for him over the course of the season, and Timmy probably going to be, honestly, the worst athlete we see on the court here tonight, so Sean Choi. And it's no shade to Timmy. It just speaks to how well he reads the game. This is a guy that is so mentally strong and is a guy that is so tactically brilliant that he's able to just move his opponents corner to corner in a way that is it's hard to describe. Even watching that Baptiste Masadi match at the British Open, there were a couple times where quite literally, Sean Choi, Baptiste Masadi had to retrieve a shot from 4 different corners and 4 different shots, which is so hard to make your opponent do that in professional squash. When you're doing that to the world number 19, Sean Choi, it's incredible. It's just incredible to watch Timmy. It's like he has like a blank canvas out there, and he's painting a beautiful mural when he's out there on the squash court. He's a total artist out there. So once again, not the most explosive, not the strongest, although speaking to U.S. national team trainer Bridgie Lux earlier in the week, Bridgie did tell me that in the last year, Timmy has put on 15 pounds of muscle. You may not be able to tell by looking at him, but he has put on 15 pounds of muscle. He is working on getting stronger and improving that aspect of his game. But his big strength are obviously his tactic and his brilliance. So I'm going to say he's going to be the best player on the court tonight, Sean.
That's a good point. I mean, for those of you tuning in today, something really cool to watch about Timmy's game is, A, the way he's able to move his opponent around the court is phenomenal. I think his ability to read the game is second to none, and I think that makes up for what people deem as the natural athlete and explosiveness. While people might not be thinking Timmy might be the most explosive athlete, the way he makes up ground for that is how he's able to read the game and the way he moves the ball all around the court. But Jackson, I am going to go with Sebastian Beaumaye. I do think he's the best player, even though I think Timmy's upside this season has proved that how formidable he is in the years to come. But I just think with Sebastian, he's been on the tour now. It wasn't interrupted by the CSA, but rather did the professional tour right out of his junior circuit, and I think he's shown an immense amount of stability over the years. I think he's one player that doesn't make many errors, just going to be a solid player to put in at any time, whether that be power plays or in defense. So I think he's an incredibly valuable player. So we got 2 players opposing each other who could be potential best players.
Yeah, Sebastian's put in a massive amount of work this season. He's based in Prague now, obviously from France initially, and he's training in Prague, where a lot of the best professionals in the world are. It's become a bit of a hotbed as well for professional squash. Obviously, Gregory Gaultier base there. Sebastian doesn't work directly with Greg, but he'll do a session with him here and there on occasion. And, of course, Mohamed El-Sharbagi and Noor El-Sharbini, also based in Prague right now, amongst many others. Juan Camilo Vargas had a career season as well. Something in the water out there in the Czech Republic, Sean, that is allowing these players to have career seasons. So, huge shout out to Sebastian Baumeister, probably his best season on the PSA World Tour as well. And he's getting ready for a big-time NSL Finals coming up here. Crowd just beginning to fill in as we're 10, 12 minutes away from getting things underway. We can take a quick break here for a few words from our sponsors. Don't go anywhere. The NSL Finals on the NSL YouTube channel, the US Squash YouTube channel, and Home Team Live will be right back after these short messages.
One law firm, Kline and Specter, has obtained 6 of the 8 largest jury verdicts in Pennsylvania in the last 5 years. So if a defective product, motor vehicle accident, or medical malpractice caused a catastrophic injury, call Kline and Specter.
America's resort, the Greenbrier, has a long reputation as an incredible place to stay, but it's also the perfect spot to get outside and play. Amazing experiences are found around every corner of the picturesque 11,000-acre property, and there's something for every age and interest. Enjoy a new pursuit or relish an old favorite at an iconic property where magical memories are made each day. To explore the more than 55 activities available and plan your next adventure, visit greenbrier.com today.
Driving the most important initiatives for the growth of squash in the United States.
Welcome back to the NSL Finals pre-show here, streaming live on the US Squash YouTube channel, the NSL YouTube channel, and Home Team Live. My name is Jackson Bragman, Sean Choi alongside, and Sean, we are in for such a treat. We have a big-time NSL Finals coming up between the Nashville Crushers and the New York City Knights this evening. We just previewed the lineups. All of the stars are here, as we indicated. Matthias Knudsen for the New York City Knights, Rory Stewart, Sebastian Baumeister, the highest-ranked player in this matchup, world number 28. League co-founder Timmy Brownell leading the way for the Nashville Crushers. World number 29, one spot below Sebastian Baumeister. He's had a career year, has Timmy Brownell, the newly minted U.S. national champion, Timmy Brownell, by the way. So Timmy leading the charge for Nashville. Simon Herbert accompanying him from Leicester, England, as well as Ronald Palomino from Cali, Colombia. What a matchup we have in store for the people here tonight, Sean. And as we mentioned earlier, no doubt about it, these are surefire, surely the 2 best teams in the National Squash League. So it should be a great matchup here tonight.
Jackson, why don't we talk about the coaches for a sec? We have 2 big-time, big-name coaches from this who have been prominent in the squash scene Coach Dylan Cunningham and
Kline
Coach Sam
Specter
Sherrill.
Great call, Sean.
What do you think of the coaches?
We've yet to mention the coaches, so I'm glad you brought it up. Let's start with Sam Sherrill for the New York City Knights. It's been an interesting season for Sherrill. He was drafted by the Knights. He was the 4th-round draft pick for the New York City Knights. 4 rounds in this year's NSL draft, even though each team is only allowed to play 3 players in one match, obviously. Each team having 1 reserve just in case certain players were not able to make it to certain matches. And next year, as far as I understand, I don't believe this is confirmed, but it's highly likely that we're actually going to have 5 rounds of the NSL draft. So there will be 2 subs for either team, because the subs did end up getting a lot of playing time throughout the season. Here's Ryan Leslie. We'll finish that thought in a moment. Ryan Leslie directing the fans to their seats here at the All Inspector Center from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Tucker, the DJ, to our left, getting the tunes going, setting the mood for this sure to be an epic evening of squash. But Sam Sherrill, drafted in the 4th round in the inaugural NSL draft in Nashville, Tennessee, back in March, played in New York's first matchup of the season, helped lead the Knights to victory against the Chicago Grizzlies at the University Club of Chicago in Chicago last month. And then in the second match the Knights played this season, earlier this month, Knights took on, in their home match, the Newport Dragons. All of the top 3 players for the Knights available to participate in that matchup, thus meaning Sam would not be needed and his duties would not be necessary to play. So Sam assumed a coaching role, helped coach the Knights to a convincing 4-0 victory over the Dragons, and now here he is assuming coaching duties once again ahead of tonight's NSL Finals. And Sam is no joke of a player. Let's make no mistake. He's one of the great college squash players of the last 10 years. Elected not to go the professional squash route, but he absolutely could have had he chosen to do so. One of the winningest players in the history of Harvard University. Obviously Harvard, the most national championships, the most coveted college squash program of all time. If you look at the long-term history, some would argue this century Trinity has been a bit more dominant, but no matter how you slice it, Harvard is an all-time squash program, and Sam Sherrill, one of the winningest players in that program's history. It's a huge accomplishment. He's also a 3-time team national champion in his time at Harvard, and had a great showing in Chicago. So no joke of a player, and clearly a bit of a tactical mastermind when it comes to understanding the NSL rules and the NSL format and how to capitalize on opportunity. A lot of strategy involved.
Yeah, there's no doubt. There's no doubt, Jackson. As I do think he'd be an incredible coach, and he has shown that he's been an incredible coach. Just the facet of he's played this event, he's played this format. He knows what it's like to be a player there. So I think when he chooses his tactics, he's well aware of what time to pull these players out, what time to be utilizing the power play. And I think that type of understanding is something special to Sam, and it's a luxury that the New York Knights have. And again, I think that team you were mentioning that was part of Harvard, that was probably honestly one of the best. Probably the best ever team that was ever put together.
One of the great college squash teams of all time, Sean.
So
my favorite stat from that team is Timmy Brownell, who we're going to see playing for the Nashville Crushers here tonight. He's playing number 6 on that team, Sean. Now there's a lot of speculation. Was there a little bit of stacking? In that lineup, should Timmy have been playing maybe 4 or 5? Perhaps it's possible. But that shows you how stacked that team was. Sam playing 3 for the majority of the year for that team.
Insane. That team is truly insane, and it is. As a squash fan, it is a shame. It saddens me to see that he hasn't pursued the professional career, as I know for a fact he could have done so much damage. But respect his decision, as he's living his life to the fullest in New York right now. But
Mike
glad
Way
to see him
coaching
involved.
tree. Obviously, Ali Farag, Sobey sisters, Marina Stefanoni coming up now. So many talented players, so many players with so much potential coming out of Harvard University in the Mike Way era. Sam Sherrill, one of those guys elected not to play on the Pro Tour. But that team, to your point, so stacked. Victor Cruin, world top 15, playing number 1 for that lineup. Marwan Tarek also actually elected not to go the pro route, playing number 2 for that team, but one of the great college players of all time as well. So tough was that national championship.
It is crazy to see that the top 2 picks of the NSL draft are not featured in this final, Jackson. So does that speak volumes to the depth of the league and the depth of the teams? The depth of the teams is so important, Sean, but not just the depth of the teams, but how well constructed these teams are and how balanced these teams are. When you look at Team New York, so well balanced. I would say balance is the number 1 word that comes to mind, and that's why they found so much success. That's why they're the only undefeated team heading into the NSL Finals this season. It's because they have the attacking prowess with Matthias Knudsen, they have the volleying and the length with Rory Stewart, and then they have the athleticism and the explosiveness with Sebastian Beaumaier. They have a bunch of different looks that they can throw at you. It's also a very big team. It's a very tough, tall team. Matthias and Rory, obviously giants. Sebastian, only 5'10", but Sebastian is no less demoralizing to play against because he can just get every single ball back from the front. It's just so tough for his opponents, where the errors always just seem to creep in. The longer Sebastian stays on court with someone, players feel that they have to go just lower and lower with their short game to try to put the ball away against Sebastian. He just keeps digging and digging and digging until players feel so much pressure from Sebastian's movement where the errors begin to creep in and the 10s begin to creep in. So you have so many different looks that New York can throw you, and the same can be said about Nashville. Timmy a little bit more steady and tactically sound, but a guy like Simon Herbert is going to go for everything that he can, and Ronald so long and lanky,
glides around the court. So I think it really speaks more to the balance as well as the depth. Not to say that Atlanta and Derby City weren't deep teams with Victor Cruin and Yusuf Ibrahim, the top 2 picks in this year's NSL draft. But I think that the balance is the big thing. Sean, why don't you tell us a little bit about Nashville head coach Dylan Cunningham?
Yeah, I mean, Dylan's pursued the professional circuit too, so he's definitely been a player now. He's been very involved in the Nashville scene, but was also a former player at Drexel under John White, and also leads the Montgomery Bell Academy, as we had that Team USA versus Team World exhibition at the beginning to kick this season off. And an incredible player, and also, Jackson, he works with Matthias a bit.
Yeah, that's one of the fun underlying storylines of this evening is Matthias Knudsen is a bit of a journeyman when it comes to coaches. He's a bit of a nomad. He likes to hop around. He likes to work with Hung Beng Hee here at the U.S. Squash Arlen Specter Center. He likes to work with some of his coaches back at Columbia. Martin Knight, who's the Columbia national team coach. He works a great deal with Martin, who's a great player in his own right back in the day from New Zealand. And then he still likes to work with head coach at Drexel, John White, and his former assistant head coach at Drexel, Dylan Cunningham, who's now in Nashville, building up that program at Montgomery Bell Academy, trying to turn them into a high school powerhouse and expanding and growing the game of squash down in the southern U.S. states. So kudos to Dylan for taking on that challenge. But Matthias says that he actually probably works with Dylan Cunningham more so than any other coach. He does tournament selection with him. He strategizes about training, and they talk almost every day, Matthias and Dylan. And they're still very close, and they have an absolutely fantastic relationship. So here comes Timmy Brownell over to the announcer table. Timmy Brownell wishing us good luck. A class act, per usual. And Sean, the lights have been dimmed. I'm looking around. The crowd is beginning to file in. We weren't sure how many fans and people to expect at tonight's NSL Finals. But the fans have showed out, and there's still more trickling in.
The drinks are flowing, Jackson.
The drinks are flowing, so we're going to hopefully have a bit of a rowdy crowd this evening that always makes squash more fun at the professional level. And it just has this big match feel, a feel that we didn't necessarily have at Open Squash in New York, a feel that we didn't even have in Nashville at the NSL Draft. We have this big match feel where it's something about the lights, it's something about the looks on the players' faces where, once again, this is no exhibition, Sean Troy. These guys want to go out there, they want to fight, and they want to win. This just has that something about it. You can feel the tension in the building. You feel something. It's almost like a big boxing match or a big UFC fight. It's the thing that I can compare it to. Being in the building for this, I have hair. I'm like Dwayne Johnson. The hair on my forearms is standing up. I've got goosebumps.
Yeah, it's a great mention, Jackson. A way to call out all the other events for the lackluster performances compared to this event. No, I'm kidding. But this truly has another feel to it. And am I going to say it has something to do with the open bar upstairs? No, I'm not going to say it has anything to do with that. But I really do think it's a good matchup that we have in store for you guys today. As we pass it on to MC Ryan Leslie.
Ryan Leslie signals the final warning for butts in seats. The final fans packing the Arlen Specter Center here. And Sean, that Newport match, we weren't there, to be fair. We called that match remotely. That Newport match was rowdy. It was fun. There was a lot of youth in the crowd. There were chants. There was yelling. There was hooting and hollering, and it was so much fun to watch. And I'm sure it was so much fun to be a part of. But tonight, it's not that it doesn't have that same fun feel to it. It has that big match feel to it. Something, the tension, you can cut it with a knife almost. This feels like a big deal. And part of it is that we are at the absolutely magical Arlen Specter U.S. Squash Center. I was here for the first time a few months ago for college nationals. I stepped foot in here. I didn't know what to expect. I really had really no expectations because I just thought it's another squash facility. There's something magical about this place. I really do believe that. It's one of the most magical places I've stepped foot in. For anyone who loves the game of squash, I mean, you have the 18 traditional courts, you have the 2 glass courts, one of which we're about to witness the NSL Finals on. We have 2 doubles courts as well, hardball North American style doubles. It's just an unbelievable facility that caters itself to high-stakes squash, and we had a great showing for the women's exhibition last night, the first ever NSL women's match, an exhibition match to build excitement ahead of next year, where we're going to have 4 full-time NSL women's teams, and we're going to have a full season for the women and crown the first NSL women's champions. But tonight, ahead of the NSL men's finals, we're moments away from introductions and getting things started. The tension, palpable. I can't wait, Sean. I'm fired up.
I am also really excited as the crowd is really filling in now, Jackson. Philadelphia being a neutral home ground for not either of these teams. But if I were to favor the crowd, I'm going to assume they're going to lean towards. Actually, I don't know, Jackson.
Well, Timmy plays for Nashville. That is worth keeping in
And
mind.
he is living in Philly right now. But then again, New York's proximity to Philly is very short. So we'll have to see.
Throw down to MC Ryan Leslie here at the H. Chase Lenfest Court at the All Specter
Ryan's been
Center.
teasing us on this MC. Keep juking us out. But here we go.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the National Squash League Championship between the New York Knights and the Nashville Crushers. We have had an incredible maiden season of the National Squash League with our 6 teams across 6 different cities, with our first ever women's NSL match last night culminating here in tonight's National Squash League Championship presented by Kline and Specter. Tonight's match will be played on our coveted NSL match format, and for those of you that don't know what that is, you're in luck, because that's what I'm here to tell you. The National Squash League format goes a little something like this. We play a total of 3 periods, with the first 2 periods being worth 1 point and the third period being worth 2 points. What that means is that if a team loses the first 2 periods, they are not out, as if they win the third and final period, we go to a best of 5-point shootout overtime. The first 2 periods are both 20 minutes long, with the third and final period being 30 minutes long. During the first 2 periods, teams are allowed 2 substitutions and 1 2-minute power play. During the third and final period, teams are allowed 1 extra substitution and 1 extra 1-minute power play. I know it's a lot to take in, but you sit back, enjoy, and let the players put on a spectacle and answer any question you may have. And with that said, we are live from the Arlen Specter U.S. Squash Center here in the heart of Drexel University campus in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Tonight we will witness the crowning of our maiden National Squash League champions between the Nashville Crushers and the New York Knights. Please welcome onto court, coaching the Nashville Crushers, Dylan Cunningham. And introducing first for the Nashville Crushers, representing Colombia, please welcome onto court, Ronald El Parcero Palomino. And next, for the Nashville Crushers, please welcome onto court, from England, Simon the Gingerbread Man Herbert. And finally, for the Nashville Crushers, He is a front runner for the league MVP. He is a current U.S. national champion from the United States of America. Please give a round of applause to Timmy Slim Tim Brownell.
Timmy getting the crowd ready to go here from Philly.
And now coaching the New York Knights, he is the winningest college squash player in history. Please give a round of applause to Sam Sherrill. Introducing first for the New York Knights, please give a round of applause from Scotland, Rory the Taunton Trailblazer Stone. Introducing next for the New York Knights, he is also a front runner for league MVP. He is a Drexel alumni from Columbia. Please welcome Matthias the Spin Bender Knudsen. And last but certainly not least, for the New York Knights, please welcome onto court from France, Sebastian the Flash Bonmalet.
Sean, this crowd is ready to go. Ryan Leslie smack dab in the middle. Look at that cute smile. Dylan Cunningham is all business here. Ryan Leslie actually. Here we go. And Matthias is kicking things off against Timmy. What a better way to get things going.
I do love how mysterious who the first matchup's going to be, as neither team seems to know. It's always fun.
Oh, I love this
part about the NSL.
And Ryan Leslie actually played at Drexel as well. His teammates with Matthias played under Dylan Cunningham. A little wrinkle, so Leslie also going to be conflicted. Sean, are you ready to swag surf?
Oh, absolutely. I know Jackson was putting in all his sports betting, and in the intermission there while Ryan Leslie was introducing the players, I saw a big sums of money he's taking out of his bank account. Will not tell you guys which team he bet for, but
Ryan Leslie, gambler at heart. Folks, this is going to be the longest warm-up that you see all night. When substitutions are made, each team allotted 2 substitutions per period, with the exception of the third period, in which each team will be allotted an extra third substitution during those subs. A couple shots, and we're right into it. About 10 seconds, and we're going. There's no extensive warm-up. Here, both players getting the ball warm and easing into things, but it's going to be even probably 3 times quicker than the traditional PSA warm-up. Very quick, just get the ball bouncing. And it's the toughest part, the players say, about playing in the NSL is you jump on court, you're cold, and you are thrown right into the fire. Sean, this place is packed.
it really is. Wow. What a spectacle this is, Jackson.
A guy like Matthias Knudsen completely embodies what the NSL is all about. His game fits this format perfectly. Matthias, not only a great squash player, but one of the biggest fans on tour, a student of the game. And here he is on a massive stage with history on the horizon for his undefeated New York City Knights. Brownell, Knudsen, the NSL Finals from the Specter Center. Here's the racket spin. A little bit weaker than Caroline Fout's spin yesterday, but still not bad. And who's going to serve? We love our racket spins, Sean. Matthias Knudsen will hold service. For those just joining us, welcome to Philly. Welcome to the Specter Center. Welcome to the National Squash League Finals. The New York City Knights, the Nashville Crushers. A historic coronation on the horizon tonight as we crown the first ever NSL champions. Sean, we are underway. Timmy draws first blood, Sean. Wow. Matthias Knudsen wasting no time.
That extensive warm-up he was doing.
Roller. He's so much more dangerous on that forehand, but he can certainly slot those nicks on the backhand as well. Make no mistake.
Two very tall boys. Some nerves kicking in.
Two tall glasses of water, if you will. Don't want to give the ball to Matthias on his racket. You don't want to give him volleying opportunities. That's where he's so dangerous. Timmy's such a smart player, tactically sound. Oh, wow, great holds. Matthias takes a deep sigh of relief. Nerves surely high for this massive contest. It's going to take him a few rallies to feel comfortable out there. But he is playing some outrageous squash, and that's a beautiful combination, Sean.
Fantastic start from Matthias as he wastes no time attacking that ball. Probably a better time to attack right now, so the ball will soften up. There's Timmy moving the opponent around.
A lot of cross courts for Matthias so far. Saw him playing cross court game against his fellow Colombian Ronald yesterday morning. Matthias did win. They had a frozen yogurt on the line, for those wondering.
Good hold. First long rally, Jackson.
It's going to be a huge boost of confidence, as it always is. Who's going to come out on top these long rallies? Knudsen just misjudging that boast a little bit, but made the adjustment. Makes the error on the back end of that rally, though.
Tense-looking New York Knights bench over there.
Matthias loves that top spin backhand hold. And his hands have been outstanding, as was to be expected thus far.
Coach Sam Sherrill with the power play.
First power play. 2 minutes on the clock. The Nashville Crushers cannot score.
Folks, we are in for a treat. Each team 4 power plays throughout the match, 1 per period except for the third period. Each team has 2 power plays. And Matthias Knudsen, so dangerous. This is where he makes his bread and butter here in the National Squash League.
He did say on the press conference that he's going to score 8 points.
No, he did say he would score 8 if he was matched up against Simon Herbert. Simon, also a very attacking player, maybe not the best defensive player.
Shout out Simon Herbert, the only one who said valuable insights during the press conference, I'd say.
He was rocking that nice 2-piece suit, looking good. Much better than you and I are here tonight, Sean.
Speak for yourself. I think I look fantastic, Jackson.
Now on the power play, a new wrinkle. This hasn't been the case throughout the regular season. The team on the power play serving every rally.
It's the second time Timmy's used the corkscrew. It definitely does throw the opponent off and slows down the ball.
Yeah, Timmy really just trying to extend these rallies.
Another one.
Timmy can hit the most beautiful shot of his life, but he will not be awarded a point. Only the Knights able to score on the power play.
Matthias has no interest. It's funny, we saw in the women's exhibition, they were a lot more open to extending the rallies, but
and honestly,
men
it's
have
smart.
no.
It's smart for Matthias. If he's stuck in the back corner, pick the ball up, serve, and try to find himself in an attacking position. He's not going to hit a winner from the back corner. He's gonna be on the defensive for the next couple of shots, more likely than not.
Fantastic defensive work from Timmy.
Wow.
Just as I say that.
Was it 3-all beginning of this power play or 4-3?
4-3.
I remember. Okay. So Matthias looking to make up for lost ground here in the final 40 seconds.
Oh. I must say, it's a bit nervous looking for his power play.
Cunningham cheering on Timmy to push, just extend these rallies. Lobbing and the error made by Knudsen. I wonder if he did that intentionally to allow himself one more point on this power play. That would be some 40 chess, Sean.
That surely would.
Wow. Outstanding from Timmy Brownell.
I mean, there's a reason why he's ranked 29 in the world.
Sean, Matthias Knudsen is the best power play performer in the National Squash League. He holds the record for most points on a power play, 6 points on a power play. And Timmy just held him to 2, which is widely considered to be a below average power play. 3 or 4 is usually the standard. It's incredible stuff from Brownell, and Crushers still have their power play in their back pocket. Brownell, the reigning U.S. national champion from Lebanon, New Hampshire. Here in the NSL finals, comes from a squash family, squash background. His mother played
excellent length from
College.
Timmy Brownell. Some odd bounces from the back as Timmy jumps on the volley.
His mom coaching the Dartmouth men's and women's team as well in the mid-90s. And Timmy's sister also played for Dartmouth College before doing a graduate year at Georgetown under head coach Timmy Sousa. Jesse helped the Hoyas to a number 13 finish in the country this year, so it's a family affair for the Brownells. Oh, it's tight work for Matthias. Oh. And there it is! A roar from Knudsen. He's fired up. He's banging the glass. And he comes off. A great 7 minutes for Matthias Knudsen. That power play, a bit lackluster for Knudsen, but he made up for it on the final 2 rallies before checking out. Look at that. Roll it home. It's a signature roar. Sebastian Beaumaye checks in for the New York City Knights. Ronald Palomino for the Crushers. Rory Stewart already getting warmed up here for the Knights as well. He wants to be ready and primed for whenever his team needs him. And that is cheeky from Beaumaye.
He got a first ace.
First ace of the day. It's just unfortunate for Palomino. That's not how he wanted to kick things off. And already Palomino and Beaumaye's longest rallies of the day.
Bit heavy on the drop shot. Not heavy there on that post.
Oof.
I think nerves are hitting Sebastian right now, Jackson. Not with that ace serve, though.
No, that ace serve was a thing of beauty. Love to take that serve out to a candlelit dinner. It's absolutely gorgeous. But tensions are high here. There's a lot on the line. History, as we mentioned, the opportunity to become the first ever NSL champions hanging in the balance. So it's understandable to feel the nerves out there. Neither of these teams having any time, as we mentioned, to ease into things. Thrown straight into the fire. They're not stepping on court and warming up for 2 minutes. They're expected to be warm by the time they check in. Within 10 seconds of stepping through that glass door, they're underway. So it may take a few minutes before Sebastian's able to find his short game. Before he's going to the forecourt, he's
Both are good, really good
back
length
right
hitters. It's a full display here in this rally.
It was a great shot from Ronalds, and he looked for that classic combo as Beaumont digged that ball cross court, left it a little bit loose. Ronald went for the drop. Just not quite good enough. It's a stroke instead of a winner. Ebbs and flows of the game of squash, folks. It's the same whether it's best of 5 or in the NSL format. It's a 10 from Palomino. Timmy Brownell scored the first point for Nashville, but since then it's been all New York. Up 11-5 here as we're about halfway through the opening period of the NSL Finals here in Philly. The Knights probably came into this matchup as mild favorites, as we described it yesterday, Sean. I would say if there were betting odds on this matchup, New York probably -130, -140 favorite, but these two teams pretty evenly matched. Yesterday you were favoring the Knights. You still feel that way?
Absolutely. Stand by it.
See either team coming out on top here, but I'm going to also go for the Knights. And another thing, good people on both these teams. You'd be happy to see either of these teams win just based on the cast of characters playing and coaching in tonight's matchup. It'd be well deserved.
Much more lengthier rallies than we saw in the initial matchup. Keep in mind that the Nashville Crushers do still have a power play.
For joining us here on the NSL YouTube channel, the US Squash YouTube channel, or Home Team Live. So we're about halfway through the opening period of the NSL Finals at the Arlen Specter Center.
So incredibly soft touch from Palomino.
Hands soft as a baby's bottom, Sean. Palomino serves, still down 6-12. Crushers have some work to do if they want to get back in this opening period, but they do still have their power play. New York used their power play early with Matthias Knudsen. And there's the leisure center boast from Palomino. He says, come on. He's firing up the crowd. Ronald Palomino, more of a European softball doubles player, but that was a total North American hardball double shot that he's played there for a winner. Beaumont responds, though, and extends the Knights' lead back out to 6.
Let's go, Sam. There we go.
It's great width. Beaumont, just so solid, Sean. Like we mentioned, demoralizing playing a guy like Sebastian, such powerful mover to the full court. Feels like he gets everything back.
Excellent line hitting.
Yeah, to your point, Sean, a lot more attritional than that opening matchup between Timmy and Matthias. It's feeling more like a game of cat and mouse here between the Frenchman and the Colombian. Who will blink first?
What a get. Another trickle boast. What a rally, Jackson.
This is a mega rally, Sean. Oh, what a dig. Oh, and he's giving up the stroke.
As he squeezes out a stroke, and
It's a heck of a rally. Here comes
Jackson's favorite player.
the man, the myth, the legend, the gingerbread man, Simon Herbert. All 5 feet 9 inches of him. Two shortest players here about to do battle. Never mind, Sebastian's coming off. And here comes Rory Stewart, the tallest player, playing in the NSL Finals. So we have 5'9" versus 6'4". But Simon Herbert will not be intimidated, I'll tell you that much. And we just paid witness to some classic attritional even squash, and that's all about to change with Simon Herbert on the court here. Wasting no time. And when it comes to the power play, Simon Herbert is the guy that you want taking on those duties if you're the Nashville Crushers.
What a stretch.
Simon
there.
Herbert, what a movement. Initially went the wrong way, but adjusted and played a beautiful drop shot there.
It's all-out attack right now from Simon. How's Rory going to weather the storm here?
Oh, that's beautiful. Rory responding.
That's one way to do it.
And there's a 10. Simon points to his forehead, Mohammed El-Sharbaghi style. Says that wasn't smart. Intelligent attack. That's what Simon's looking for. That James Wilstrop backhand drop shot from the back. Oh no. Oh my goodness, he's dropped his racket and he's picked it back up. This is unbelievable.
Rory staying calm though.
He's still going. And he's played a winner into the neck. He shakes it off. No, he gestures for a power play.
The Nashville Crushers are calling their 2-minute power play. The New York Knights cannot score for 2 minutes.
Simon Herbert is feeling himself. He's scored 3 of 5 points since checking on. He's playing at a blistering pace. Let's see how he fares here. Remember, the team who calls power play serves every time. Gives it the stroke. Only Nashville can score here. Rory Stewart will lift the ball here and extend these rallies as much as humanly possible. Simon can't worry about making errors red and tense. He's got to win as many points as he can.
Not the best start of the power play so far from either teams, I'd say.
Only 1 stroke. Simon.
He has yet to score on the score sheet here on the power play.
He's played that. Wow.
Rory does seem to be reading Simon's game a bit better now. Not the best time as the power play is in use.
And Rory's settled in here. Sean, do you think it's more of an advantage to serve every time on the power play, or just play the way it's been all regular season?
I think the serve has to be an advantage.
It is in terms of the time-wasting thing, but I would argue it. A lot of these points on the power play are won off the return of serve in the interest of fairness. So
I would love to hear the statistic on that and how much they do. That'd be a good stat sheet call out there, Jackson.
Yeah.
As he finally gets on board. It's not been the greatest display right now.
Wow. Oh, Rory's just
not finding the neck that he was finding before the power play. That was good, Jax. I think he took off 2 more seconds by hitting the ball, even though it was a 10.
Chestnut checkers.
Rory being really solid. And we know how much he loves playing in front of a crowd, as I think there is a huge correlation of his results when there's a crowd present versus when there isn't a crowd present.
See the woos raining down there from the crowd and Specter, but Rory's just digging these balls back. It's unbelievable movement. So steady.
2 minutes left.
Probably the point for Simon. It's almost like Simon's still on power play here, Sean, because even though now New York can score again, the clock is a factor with only 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go. Simon needs 5 points. Well, it was going to be a stroke anyways, wasn't it, Sean? Let's go, let's go, let's go. We have to see a massive comeback from his racket there.
2 minutes, 2 minutes in the first period.
One more point.
Rory acting like he didn't know where to serve. Killing some more time. I love to see that.
That's one way to interpret it, Sean. And Rory Stewart.
That is the only way to interpret it, Jackson.
Putting an exclamation point on this first period for the New York City Knights.
I mean, as well as Simon attacks, at the end of the day.
Wow.
Ooh.
No, it's a massive double, I think, Sean.
Rory's not happy about that.
I did look up from our
Not
monitor.
what the doctor ordered there.
Watching this match from the right side wall here at the Specter Center. It is a bit easier to see some of these refereeing decisions and double bounces. You're kind of here on
Beautiful
the side.
lob. That is a gorgeous lob. As New York Knights are running away with this first period.
60 seconds to go. Sean, we mentioned we've yet to see a power play.
What a lob.
I know you're fiending for said power play. If New York can hang on here, they're going to need to win the second period, and then Nashville will have to come back in the third to force that.
Jackson, just too many errors for Simon this first period. As well as he started with a bang, it's been an error fest since. Rory doesn't even try to go for that.
Rory does just make it look so easy out there, doesn't he, Sean? It's just so effortless.
You definitely tell he's been lifting a lot more in this matchup. I don't know if it's a specific strategy against Simon. Daring him to attack.
Oh, wow.
Reminiscent of his Commonwealth Games abilities here. What an outing from Rory Stewart so far.
Dylan Cunningham and the Nashville Crushers are going to have to regroup. They're going to have to come up with a game plan as there's Mizuki. Period number one goes the way of the New York City Knights. Nashville going to be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, the New York Knights capture period number one, and Rory, you are now playing in the National Squash League Championship final here, and you just held on. They called a power play late. What was your mindset going through those last 6 minutes as they had 2 minutes to hold you back?
Yeah, I knew I don't know. I signed for me, and that's what I was sitting there thinking, oh no, he's going to play against me, so it got me late. But I knew it was well. I mean, yes, a lot of winners, but yeah, a lot of mistakes. It's just a stage around there. Kind of back down the thought, the good work for me, and just has to play forward. What would it be?
He put in a couple rippers there, and it looked like some of those questionable double bounces you may have got. Did that get into your head at all, or did you just continue to carry on?
Nah, I mean, 2 points of great. The end when I was straight away, I was thinking, oh no, there we go. I just wanted to be more out there. I'm going to call my doubles next day, so I appreciate it. No, I just have to get it.
One law firm, Kline and Specter, has obtained 6 of the 8 largest jury verdicts in Pennsylvania in the last 5 years. So if a defective product, motor vehicle accident, or medical malpractice caused a catastrophic injury, call Kline and Specter.
America's resort, the Greenbrier, has a long reputation as an incredible place to stay, but it's also the perfect spot to get outside and play. Amazing experiences are found around every corner of the picturesque 11,000-acre property, and there's something for every age and interest. Enjoy a new pursuit or relish an old favorite at an iconic property where magical memories are made each day. To explore the more than 55 activities available and plan your next adventure, visit greenbrier.com today.
Driving the most important initiatives for the growth of squash in the United States.
New York Knights head coach here, Sam Sherrill. Sam, period number 1, 25 to 16. You had the lead the whole way. It seemed like you played every single play you could right. Power plays and substitutions. What's your mindset and what's your strategy going into 2 and 3?
Yeah, I thought that was exactly how we intended we would.
To understand Rory with his beautiful accent, DM Jackson, as he understands perfectly. So he'll give you the whole subtitles for that. So again, DM Jackson, if you want more info on what Rory said, his insights would be valuable as he scored the most amount of points there. And I'd say right now he was the MVP of that period. Jackson, what do you think?
Well, I can't find the right word there. Thick Scottish accent for Rory Stewart. Tough to understand at times. But if you're able to sit down with him, have a chat, he's a lovely young lad. He's from Scotland, but lives in England now. He's working with former world number 1, James Willstrop, actually. But, yeah, Rory led the way that last period. 10 points for him, 8 for Matthias, and 7 for Sebastian. So it was a total team effort for the New York City Knights.
As we get underway, the same matchup as period 1 here. I think Timmy must be eager to jump into a lead. I do think the only way New York Knights can lose this is if Timmy's able to make a run here, represent the Nashville Crushers.
Yeah, when you look at the world rankings, this is a mismatch. Timmy is ranked about 60, 65 spots higher than Matthias. Matthias, it's a beautiful drop shot and shows you why he is so good when it comes to this format. Such great hands, such great reflexes, such great attacking prowess. Not necessarily the fittest player in professional squash yet, but his game fits perfectly for this NSL format where these guys are showcasing their skills in short bursts. But he did play a hefty shift in that first period, 8 minutes for Knudsen. And that's a good point, though, Sean. Timmy, so dangerous. He's the highest ranked player for the Crushers. He's certainly their best player, I think,
he certainly is. And I do think this is their best matchup, even though Timmy has yet to find much success for Matthias, as I do think the New York Knights, the other two, have too much quality to make a big enough lead.
Yeah, Sean, it'll be interesting to see if New York City Knights coach Sam Sherrill once again uses Matthias for the power play. Because for that to happen, that would mean that New York's going to have to use a power play in the first 6 or 7 minutes here.
Right. I mean, it does also mitigate Timmy from earning any points. So that might be the tactic there. As, again, we mentioned time and time again, Timmy's quality is world class.
Yeah, on one hand, it might be valuable for New York to call a power play against someone like Simon Herbert, who's maybe not the best defensive squash player out there. He is more of an attacking playing style, and that's his bread and butter. But to your point, Sean, you might want to just take 2 minutes away from Timmy.
Tire him out.
His offense, and yet tire Timmy out. So there's a lot of strategy that goes into it. It's not as black and white as you may think when it comes to strategy of substitution and power plays. You see Timmy really dictating pace and traffic here now, despite being down a point. He's really found his groove. Oh, Matthias is gone for the flick. The top spin. He had Timmy. That's the signature shot of his. Clips top of 10.
Replicating the New York Knights tactic. We have a power play really showing off Dylan Cunningham's creativity, just following exactly what Sam Sherrill did in the first period. Big credit to Dylan.
Serve not too far above the service line there, Sean. Yeah, maybe some plagiarism going on. Maybe some stolen idea. Timmy.
I've never seen Timmy move that quickly.
Just to get back to the service box. It's too good. It's going to be a no let. Well, Matthias plays that. He could have asked for a let. He technically wasn't ready.
Right box. That's costly, Jackson.
Oh, hustle, Timmy. That's a couple seconds off the clock.
What a shot.
Timbo. Let him know, Timmy. It's beautiful. Oh, nearly found 3-wall Bo Snick. Not quite.
Good hold.
It's an unbelievable
Timmy with
hold.
a fist pump.
Signature fist pump.
Should not be fist pump. That's wasting time, too, in my opinion, Jackson. Anything. Every second counts.
Yeah, has played through that, unfortunately, Sean. Not sure if there was enough interference either way.
This pace from Timmy. Maybe you should start using this in the PSA.
Yeah, and you'll find that Timmy does love to. That's another thing about his tactics. He does. And it's honest for Matthias. Wonderful to see from him. Timmy does love to mix up the pace. He'll lift for a couple rallies. He'll play up tempo. Very unsettling for his opponent. But yeah, traditionally, he's not as quick as
cheeky for Matthias.
Once again, smart. Matthias is really well versed with this format. That was a smart decision there. Didn't have the cross-court option. He's like, let me take off 6 or 7 seconds with the yes let here.
Substitution, stop the clock. The New York Knights are making a substitution.
Sam Sherrill waves the yellow flag. Yellow signaling substitution. Red signaling power play. Timmy hyping up the crowd on his way out. New York sends on Sebastian Beaumayer. Nashville responds with Ronald Palomino. This is the same matchup we saw in the middle portion.
It is interesting that we haven't seen a Timmy versus Sebastian matchup yet. Maybe they're saving that up for the third period, as they are the two highest ranked players here. And Jackson, I must say, there's a deep, dark part of me that was really hoping the New York Knights win this one, so there's a potential shootout. But no one is answering my prayers.
Sean, Nashville off to a much better start than they were in the first period. Do you think there's any chance New York can come back here?
I do think so. I do think it's early enough and there's enough time left on the clock. On top of the fact that Sam Sherrill has opted to not use the power play thus far, I do think this is the make or break matchup right now.
Yeah.
With how much damage Sebastian can do. The scoreboard or Ronald be consistent.
And it's a great point, Sean. New York still has their power play in their back pocket. Nashville up 4, but without the power play at their disposal. So New York very much still in this. And if Sebastian wins this point, you could even argue that maybe they were the favorites this period. Given how effective that power play can be when done right. It'll be interesting to see if Sherrill elects to.
Any loose crossbar from Sebastian will be punished by the tall frame and reach. Ronald, this is not the guy you want to have a loose crossbar on.
Absolutely. Such a massive wingspan. Loves to volley. Loves to take it early. Looks so effortless for both of these guys. It's a joy to watch, even if the attacking isn't quite up to par with a Simon Herbert or a Matthias Knudsen. These guys just looking like figure skaters out there. Oh! And Ronald's with a roar.
That's what we need, Jackson. That's what we need. Love to see that.
He didn't get that back, but what an unbelievable movement there from Sebastian Beaumayer. Fully stretched out in the front corner, nearly in the splits. Unbelievable stuff.
Truly
such a great mover. That drop shot had to be picture perfect for Ronald to win that rally at the forecourt.
The Nashville Crushers maintain their lead right now. It is a really good position to be in, as you don't have much pressure if your team has the lead.
Oh. Yeah. I think Beaumont thought that Palomino was going to hit that shot maybe a quarter second before he did and started to make his movement. No fault either of the players. Incidental. Apology from Ronald.
Costly error, Jackson.
Costly error, completely unforced. And Sean, Beaumont has really been lifting the ball to the back. He's kind of waited for Palomino to make a mistake and look for counterattacking opportunities when he's gone in front, but it hasn't been super effective because Ronald's just been so steady. But yeah, Beaumont not really looking to be the first one to take the ball in here. Just trying to steady the ship for New York. Ronald Palomino, we've underestimated him all season, Sean, based on his world ranking. World number 130, but that's so deceiving. Clearly playing at the top 100 level, if not much higher. And he's gone for the nick as Beaumont. Palomino's got it back, but he's given up the stroke. What that did for Palomino is he halted the roars from the crowd, because that would have been a huge reaction for that Beaumont nick, Sean.
Which player do you think Sam Schill's going to give the power play to?
Oh, my God.
Whoa.
Oh, that is just delicious squash, Sean.
That has got to be the shot.
Sean, he hit the back wall boast from, I think, in front of the tee. That was unbelievable. And here comes the power play. Sean, please do remember that question. And we'll talk about it in 2 minutes here, because right now all eyes are on this power play. This is it. New York needs 4 or 5 points here to get back.
I think that's a good decision, as Sebastian was having a hard time cracking to that lead.
Yeah. Beaumont is going to throw a completely different look at Ronald here. He's going to be far less patient, and we'll see how Palomino responds.
Having no interest giving that ball back to Sebastian. Oh, there it is. That's what we've been looking for. Cheeky tactics.
And it'll be a yes let there, but I wonder if the referee will punish players if Ronald does something like that again. Will it be another no let? Will it be no let down the road? Yes let is fair there, but if it's continuous, we can't have that. Time wasting.
We have yet to see a successful usage of the power play. I'd say, I mean, Temmie's was rock solid. Seems Ronald's reading Sebastian's game.
Like you said, rock solid for Timmy, but nothing like Matthias's 6-point power play against the Grizzlies and Daniel Mekbeeb a couple weeks ago. Nothing like a couple of those Matthias Knudsen power plays we saw against the Newport Dragons at Open Squash in New York more recently. And only 1 point so far for the Frenchman on this power play. Yeah, he really needs 2 more for this to be deemed a successful power play, or else New York is in trouble.
It would be interesting to see what happens.
Wow. And honestly, Ronald's moving just as well as Sebastian here. These are some tough gets at the front for Palomino.
I mean, Jackson, what's interesting to see is right after the power play, how much damage has this done to Ronald's legs?
It is, yeah, that's a great point. It's tough to move that massive frame around the squash court. Unbelievable defense. And Sean, yeah, we might be disappointed at the lackluster attacking effort on the power plays, but we got to give flowers to Palomino. Great defensive effort. He gave up that last point there, but it was so long. There was the last point of the power play. A massive roar.
What a display from Ronald here.
Ronald Palomino, we've counted him out. We've underestimated him time and time again all season.
It's being confirmed by the system. It's 12-7.
Ronald Palomino with the signature unsquashable headband. Signature unsquashable racket. Putting in a great shift here for his Nashville Crushers as they hang on to a 12-7 lead.
I mean, this is truly an amazing showing from Ronald, given that Sebastian is New York Knights' best player.
Hands on hands. Reflexes. Out of control in the NSL
How has he
finals.
maintained this lead even with the power play?
Unbelievable! Sean, Ronald's having a blast out there. He's smiling ear to ear.
Coach Dillon looking in disbelief here at the performance.
This is just an outrageous sequence.
Oh,
It's an outrageous run. Look at what he's doing to the world number 28 right now, Sean. This is why anything can happen in the NSL. The finals are no different. It's the first time that we've seen a lapse when it comes to the reflexes of Palomino.
I mean, it
He's
shows
handled
the depth
pace.
of the PSA Tour right now.
Yeah. I mean, Sean, first, Beaumaye was very patient, lifting the ball a lot. Now he's playing a lot more up pace since the start of this power play. And no matter what look Beaumaye threw at Palomino, Ronald held strong. A great effort for the Colombian. And this is interesting, Sean, because Simon Herbert now has a 7-point lead. He's a great attacking player, but will he be able to defend and hang on to this lead with 6 minutes and 7 seconds to go? That is the question. Rory Stewart, so steady in his shift. He led the Knights in points in the first period.
Jackson.
I'm fascinated.
It really depends for me. If Simon could catch fire, at least score 2-3 points to start it off, that might deject Rory moving forward.
It's a great point. The next 30 seconds are absolutely huge. No more substitutions, no more power plays.
We do know Rory was amazing that period one.
Oh, that is costly. So he had a weird look at it. Came at him in the middle. But nonetheless, it's going to be tough. There you see Simon playing the ball above the service line these first 3 shots. Something that he normally would not do.
8-point lead. Jumping on court, 8-0 down, if you put it in perspective.
There's the tweener. 8-0 down, and as we talked about yesterday during the women's exhibition, Sean, you cannot adopt the approach in the NSL that you can adopt in a best 3 of 5 format where it's just, hey, I'm down 8-0, but I just got to win 1 point at a time and just fight my way back. The clock is gnawing at you in the back of your mind, so you have to win these points in a timely manner.
Will the time clock be stopped?
The clock has been stopped, fortunately.
But amazing work from Simon sliding on purpose there, Jackson. That's my theory. Wasting at least 10 seconds off that clock before they decided to stop it. Brilliant stuff. We got to ask him about it.
Sean,
I did find that slide a bit unnecessary.
One of the great cynics of professional squash commentary. Yeah, perhaps. Now, Simon, contrary to what you may believe, not a fan of European football and or soccer, depending on where you live around the world. So he definitely didn't learn that dive from the England national team, which is
in his blood
to dive here and there. But yeah, just inherently it is in his blood. He hasn't learned it by watching, but he's learned it just by intuition. It's honest from Herbert there.
All class, just like the woman yesterday.
The woman
putting me to shame. Would have never called that.
That was great to have the first ever syndicated, broadcasted women's NSL match right here at the Specter Center yesterday. Team North America with a thumping on Team World 4-0. Here we are, NSL Finals night. It's been a lot of anticipation building up to tonight over the last 4 months or so. And it looks like, unless Rory Stewart can pull off a bit of a miracle, it's going to come down to the 3rd period. It's a great shot from Rory. Mascot for the New York City Knights, sitting on the bench. That is Trey Valdezon, son of league commissioner Fernando Valdezon. We know who he's cheering for, Sean. Oh.
Right box, 11-17.
What do you think of that call, Sean?
It's good. Could go either way. I think no let would have been
a
bit harsh, but I think yes, that was the correct decision. I wouldn't have been upset over a no let there, but
may have taken the wrong line of the ball, but it's not the best shot from Rory. Bit of a traffic jam around the center of the court.
We're no experts. We're just here to banter.
We are no experts. We are just here to banter. That's right. Simon always very honest, as we've covered already. So he's not a fisherman, as some of his compadres on the PSA World Tour.
Jackson, as we've been chit-chatting away, I do want to mention that Rory has slowly cut down the lead.
Whew. Oh, it's a great dig from
I
Simon.
went the wrong way there.
I went the wrong way. I literally shook in my chair there. My knees buckled seeing that shot. Not Simon Herbert, though. This is impressive from Herbert. Really lifting the ball, showing his versatility. There's more to him than just his attacking prowess. He's able to play the ball high and accurate, as well as fast and low to the 10. It looks like he's going to hang on here for Nashville and force a third period in which the winner will be decided.
Devastated
from those 30 minutes.
Truly devastated, Jackson.
Sean, how do we go all year without a shootout, rather? That's a great line. Big time roar from Simon. He wins a minute-long rally there. Team Nashville is all business right now. No shootout all year, Sean. I'm sorry.
It's upsetting.
I just feel more bad for you than anyone.
I might not ever join that NSL again on the commentating box.
That's tragic.
As there was no shootout.
See, it's a well-placed drop. See, announcer's jinx there for me. I was going to say a well-placed drop, even though it wasn't right 1 inch above the 10. It was tight, and that's what you want to do, a working drop shot. He had a 10 on that shot, unfortunately. But Simon does have the right idea here, where he's not is looking to extend, but he's not necessarily just lifting everything willy-nilly.
There is times your 4-point lead. 2 minutes left on the clock here. Rory being solid as ever.
Oh, no, and that's a stroke. And here's a run, Sean. I may have spoke too soon.
This has perked up the New York Knights team right now.
Oh. It's a gift for the gingerbread man. From Leicester, England, not a huge squash presence there. Simon Herbert has turned himself into a world-class talent. Will he be able to hang on here in the NSL Finals? Quicker. Rory's never given up here, even when we did. Sean, we're usually not quick to give up.
I mean, I never gave up on Rory. Maybe now I do.
And Simon's going to take his time a little bit here. Going to get focused.
Nice shot.
That's perfect. Every ball that Simon can dig back is helping Nashville's cause. And
do you think that closed it out there for Simon?
I think so.
As Rory takes the risks and it pays off.
Oh, it's a huge gap. That get in the front right solidified it for Nashville. Rory put that away. Who knows, but
last point here, and it does not matter.
Drama from the Arlen Specter U.S. Squash Center. We are all tied up, nothing separating these two teams, Nashville and New York. It all comes down to the third and final period between these two juggernauts. Here's Timmy Brownell with Ryan Leslie.
Timmy off to a hot start, held the lead, almost lost it there at the end, but the team hangs on to head to period number 3. What's your thoughts so far on the first 2 periods?
Yeah, I mean, what a performance from Ronald there. He was rock solid in the middle of the period. You know, beginning of the period, anything can happen because me and Matthias are just going to try to shoot the lights out. But had the lead, Ronald was rock solid, Simon closed it off, and who knows what's going to happen in the third. We're going to go plan it out.
One law firm, Kline and Specter, has obtained 6 of the 8 largest jury verdicts in Pennsylvania in the last 5 years. So if a defective product, motor vehicle accident, or medical malpractice caused a catastrophic injury, call Kline and Specter.
America's resort, the Greenbrier, has a long reputation as an incredible place to stay, but it's also the perfect spot to get outside and play. Amazing experiences are found around every corner of the picturesque 11,000-acre property, and there's something for every age and interest. Enjoy a new pursuit or relish an old favorite at an iconic property where magical memories are made each day. To explore the more than 55 activities available and plan your next adventure, visit greenbrier.com today.
Driving the most important initiatives for the growth of squash in the United States.
And we're back on period 3. All to play for, Jackson.
Sean Choi, 30 minutes to decide our first ever NSL champions. We did want a shootout, but this, I hate to say it, Sean, and I'm going to give you a pat on the back and say, I'm sorry we're not going to see the shootout, but this might be even better because we have one period, and it all comes down to this. How apropos that we have the two best teams here. They're all knotted up at one apiece, as
Jackson,
the great Paul Johnson would say. Nothing separating these two teams, Sean. We're
I know you
deadlocked.
don't believe it. The penalty shootout would have been better.
Oh, it would have been great. I'm not going to deny that, but I do think 30 minutes to
it's interesting to see this matchup that was showcased in the middle of the first period and the second period, rather than having Timmy and Matthias lead the way. But should be exciting will Ronald continue his rampage, or will Sebastian be able to mitigate?
Yeah, this is a matchup we saw in the first and second period, but instead of these two guys checking on second, they're checking on first. Something interesting to monitor. Sebastian gestured twice, indicating that the serve was down. I didn't see it, Sean. I'll defer to you.
That was fishy, to say the least.
Ooh, Sebastian, not pleased.
Ronald, if you guys see in the front left corner, he does flick it from his backhand with that. He's able to generate all that power through the wrist, which is a very highly skilled shot. Makes it very deceptive as well.
We've got a one party on the scoreboard right now, Sean. Oh, it's a bit fortunate. A stroke of fortune even for the Colombian, as he draws ahead early. Period number 3. Period number 3 slightly different from periods number 1 and 2. It's an extra 10 minutes, so it's 30 minutes instead of 20 minutes. And each team is allotted an extra substitution. So instead of 2 substitutions, each team has that third substitution at their disposal. Finally, in addition to the 2-minute power plays that each teams are allotted in periods number 1 and 2, they'll still have those 2-minute power plays to utilize, as well as an extra 1-minute power play they can use whenever they choose.
Rally so far. There's a little bit of dodgy pickup that Ronald was very suspicious about.
This is great.
I'm sure
all 4 corners being touched on by all these players.
What
a movement! What a slide. What a lunge. And that's what Sebastian Beaumaye is all about. It is impossible to put this man away in the front corners. And we'll see now how Ronald responds. And as has been tradition early in this NSL season, will the errors creep in and the tins creep in for Ronald?
Improved mightily.
Wow. Wow.
It's really the reach, isn't it, Jackson? Anything loose on the cross courts, immediately punished.
Put that right in his racket.
Ronald's 6'3" frame.
Once again, it's a great get in the front right corner from Sebastian, but he's out of position for that next shot, which Ronald was able to take out of the air easily. Someone of Simon Herbert or even Sebastian's stature would have had to stretch to make that volley, and it wouldn't have been quite as effective. So it's such a huge advantage.
That was a lot of space there.
Yeah, I don't know if he has the cross court. I think a safety lead is fair enough, but definitely worth a debate. Definitely worth questioning. Good hold from Beaumaye, but Ronald's read him like a book. And on we go.
Jackson, I might say this right now on a hunch. I don't think this is the right matchup for Sebastian for the New York Knights. And I say that with the fact that I do think the New York Knights have the luxury of quality in all 3 players.
This is another unbelievable rally. Yeah, I wonder if Sebastian would be better off against a Simon Herbert, where his consistency and his fluidity might be more effective. I think that might be the matchup to look for, because as good as Simon is attacking, if Sebastian can start to get those balls back at the front, then Simon may grow frustrated. But then again, will Sebastian still be able to retrieve the outrageous attacking of Herbert? And Ronald responds. These two heavyweights duking it out here in the NSL finals, back and forth. 4-all, once again deadlocked, all tied up, all to play for. 25 minutes for history, the first ever National Squash League champions. Cannot overstate how massive this would be. A huge coronation set to take place in under half an hour from the Arlen Specter Center. One of the most historic nights in professional squash in a long time, Sean.
What a hole there.
Oh, this movement is unbelievable. Did you see he was basically doing a handstand in the back right corner, and it comes back and hits a winning shot in the front left.
Is that the confidence that Sebastian needed to pull away here?
Sebastian Beaumay feeling like the MVP so far here tonight. Worth noting, though, that Rory Stewart did lead the Knights in scoring once again in period number 2.
I do think Rory should be MVP so far. I think he got even close to breaking down that 8-point lead.
Yeah, Rory, 20 points so far. He's leading the Knights by a healthy margin.
Ronald is playing out of his mind.
This is just such quality from both players, Sean. This is a joy to watch.
This is Ronald's show right here. He's moving the...
Oh, my God. How is he getting these
this,
back?
This is the Ronald show.
Oh, my goodness, Sebastian Beaumay. How does he do it? The movement is outrageous. Never say die for the Frenchman. New York takes the lead early.
Nothing in it between these two, with Sebastian with a 1-point lead here.
What a treat. This is just absolute quality. Masterclass in movement, masterclass in target hitting. Masterclass in tactics. Ronald so smart, really controlling the majority of these rallies. But Sebastian playing outstanding defense, and that's tight down the forehand line, glued to the sidewall. Here comes Matthias Knudsen. A valiant effort for Sebastian Beaumay. Heck of a shift. And Matthias, power play coming up.
Flag war going on here.
Oh my goodness. And now, folks, players cannot check off. Players cannot check off. Once a team calls a power play, neither team are able to check in and off. So New York called the power play before Nashville signaled for a substitution. So Ronald is forced to play these next 2 minutes. Nashville wanted to have Timmy check on.
That's amazing coaching tactics there.
Cheryl signaling for the substitution and the power play at the same time. Ronald completely pulled that shot out of his behind. Off the back glass, he wasn't even ready for it, and somehow finds the nick. That's unbelievable. And here comes Knudsen. Wow. He's had perhaps a bit of an off day, but he's looking to make up for it here, right here. This is his bread and butter. This is what he does best. The power plays are where he shines. That's going to be a stroke to Palomino, but Knudsen continues to serve and looks to rack up these points on the power play. He has 2 already in 50 seconds. Make that 3.
A lot of errors.
He's looking to break the record. Palomino is gassed. It's been a long shift for him, 8+ minutes. He has to survive 1 more minute.
Matthias must be more familiar with Ronald's game as they're both from Colombia. I'm sure they've practiced countless times together.
National team teammates.
Ronald did read that topspin right away.
Ronald just 1 year older than Matthias. You're absolutely right, Sean. These two know each other's games like the back of their own hands. Oh my goodness! Wow. Ronald Palomino is putting on a show for the fans tonight. He's grinning ear to ear. He's having a ball out there, and he's defending this power play like a champ. Matthias has gone for the top spin once again. It hasn't worked for him tonight. There's the tweener. This is the rally of the day. And Ronald hangs on. Stop the show. Ronald Palomino. Oh, my goodness, Sean. Sean, dare I say, a star is being born right before our eyes. Ronald Palomino is absolutely killing it. He hypes up the crowd, and he's going to take a well-deserved break. Here comes Timmy Brownell. These two squared off in periods number 1 and 2. Matthias came out with a dominant start to period number 1 against Timmy. Sean, we have not seen this at all yet this season. New York calling both of their power plays back-to-back.
Wow.
They used their
Coach
2-minute one
Sam
on
Sherrill
Ronald.
is up to something here.
We have yet to see this. Now New York has another 1-minute power play, and Timmy Brownell is cold. He's just checked on. Matthias gone for the neck. He can't find it. Oh my goodness, out of nowhere.
What a shot.
Timmy using some major height, but Matthias is so dangerous from anywhere on the court.
I do think Timmy uses the height the most out of any players when defending the power play.
This is fascinating from New York, using both of their power plays within the first 10 minutes. We have yet to see anything like this. Matthias is rolling. He has his team out to a huge lead in the early going of period number 3. We're a third of the way through, folks. The NSL championship on the line. What the heck was that? Oh my goodness.
This would be the final point.
The skill. The skill.
And just like that, it's an 8-point lead.
Wow.
They really used Matthias for all the power play, and now Rory coming in with the stability. Matchup we haven't seen before, so it should be exciting.
Matthias Knudsen just played 3 valiant minutes for the New York City Knights. No more, no less. He came on for 2 incredibly effective power plays, and off he comes. Here comes the scoring leader for the New York City Knights so far this evening. Rory Stewart, 20 points combined in periods number 1 and 2. He's
going to be all defense from New York Knights for the next 20 minutes.
New York going to look to, as we say in soccer, of course, Sean mentioned Euros and Copa America going on right now. New York going to look to park the bus here. They just want to hang on to this lead. Nashville still with both of their power plays at their disposal. Those 2 power plays are going to make or break this match.
Stroke to Nashville.
Timmy up in the pace. I don't know if it's a conscious decision on the matchup against Rory. Again, a matchup we haven't seen before in the first 2 periods. Wow.
It's a great hold on the bows for Rory.
Stop the clock. Nashville is calling their 1-minute power play. 1-minute power play. New York.
Oh, look at those abs for Rory. Shredded. So much core stability.
Unbelievable athlete, Rory. I'm sure he keeps his body clean with a clean diet. I'm sure he hasn't had a sip of alcohol in his life.
Ray did tell us in a press conference yesterday that
the 10 cocktails.
New York devised their game plan for this final after.
I don't know who was drinking those 10 because I know
drinks.
Rory wasn't.
And here they are,
the healthiest
executing
athlete
that game plan to perfection. Yeah, Rory definitely massive character on the tour. He's simmered down a bit the past couple of years.
I do call him the David Goggins of squash. Just locked in at all times.
Yeah, Rory did tell me
tunnel vision
that after this match is over, he's going to take a little bit of a week off. He's a big golf fan. He's going to play a little golf, watch the Scotland national team in the Euros. I believe they're playing tomorrow in their final group stage match.
Oh, yeah. Dare I say, I don't think that power play did much for...
No, it didn't. And now, momentum favoring the Knights. Nashville still has one power play remaining. Oh, it's a stroke. He's hit him in a dispute.
Contact in the swing. Stroke in Nashville. Right box, 7-14.
Timmy wants RPS.
Mr. Brownell, was there contact in the swing?
Oh, wish we could hear what's going on, Sean.
Now keep arguing away, though, Rory, as you dwindle down the time on the time clock here.
Yeah, Nashville really on the back foot now. I think Timmy's got to calm down a little bit.
There's really no drop-off with the New York Knights. That's their... It's the depth, Jackson.
It's the depth, and we talked about it in the pre-show, the balance, Sean, where you can, such great tactics, where you can have a guy like Matthias come on for 3 minutes and use those 2 power plays, execute them so well, and then you have Rory and Sebastian who are just so steady. And you've got a little bit of everything, so crucial in this format.
Rory's been the best player, in my opinion, in today's outing.
Rory missed the New York Knights debut this season against the Chicago Grizzlies on the road, but had a great performance, and the Knights 4-0 thumping over the Newport Dragons 2 weeks ago. Here he is having himself a night in the NSL finals. He's been absolutely outstanding.
Rumors are he's going to hit the gym right after this.
Proved so much this year working with former world #1 James Wellstrop. Wellstrop also coaching Mustafa Asal to a British Open title earlier this month. Has his hands full with a lot of top pros right now. Stewart being one of the shining stars of that coaching tree right now.
What a rally here. Both players are very good at slow balling the pace here.
It's quality. Ball's tight to the sidewall, great width on the cross courts. It's not willy-nilly, it's not loose. The only problem for Nashville is this rally comes at a time when New York is up 8 points. Now the clock shouldn't be a factor yet. There's a major fist pump for Timmy. Maybe a smidge of doubt seeping in for the Scotsman. Clock not necessarily a factor for Timmy quite yet.
Not yet. I don't think I've ever seen Rory do a fist pump on the court.
Cool as a cucumber.
I'm telling you, Jackson, the most locked-in player I know.
Stop the clock. Stop the clock. Nashville is calling a substitution and their final power play.
Sean, this may be the match. Simon Herbert.
Jackson's favorite player, Simon Herbert here. Will he do this 2-minute power play justice?
The people call him the Gingerbread Man. It's a well-deserved nickname. Just look at the guy. But I call him the Firecracker. This explosive action occurs when this man checks onto the court. Down 7, here comes Nashville on the power play. This is the final power play of the match here tonight. Each team now has 1 substitution remaining, for those of you keeping track at home. And here comes Simon.
Straight to the neck.
Now, we'll monitor this. Rory's been playing well. The record for power play points is 6. That was Matthias Knudsen in the Knights' big win over the Chicago Grizzlies last month.
It's 2 errors there.
2 errors for Simon. He's not on pace.
3 errors.
And after slotting a brilliant nick on the first
Lovely
shot,
from Rory. Absolutely.
Does signal for the apology. There he goes. That's beautifully placed, inch perfect from Herbert. Rory signals what's going on, and I guess he could have maybe.
No, I don't think they allow lets.
There, but
I don't think they allow lets on the serve. It's like,
yeah, I mean, yeah, he's got to be ready.
That's tight. Squeezing into the corner, lob.
The problem is Rory is staying in front of Simon.
Front court,
here.
backcourt
Yeah.
drill there.
And something you saw a lot of at the exhibition in Nashville. And, there it is once again. 30 more seconds. Perhaps the biggest 30 seconds of Nashville's season. Simon can get 2 more points. Nashville has a fighting chance. Oh, it's right on his racket. Oh, he's missed that one.
I thought
he
that was
needed that.
I thought that was the 10.
Oh, brutal.
Brilliant by Rory, brilliant.
This will be the final point of the power play. Simon could really use this here.
Doesn't have to rush it, does not have to rush it.
No rush, you're right, Sean, because no matter how much time this takes, it's the final point of the power play.
Nice
An error.
coach, Sam
Sam
Sherrill.
Sherrill is up on his feet for the first time this match. New York can smell victory, but we have 12 minutes to go. Only 5 points separating these two. This is not out of the question for Nashville. Now, Rory's still, he hasn't dropped off his level, but he's grown a bit frustrated these past 3 minutes or so since Simon's checked out. A couple of occasions.
No, he definitely has.
See if he can maintain his poise. He has there. Great width.
Did I
on
see
the
a fist
cross
bump?
court.
I think I saw a fist bump.
I think you did. He's fired up. He's locked in here in the NSL Finals. 11 minutes for the rest of his life to call himself a part of the first ever National Squash League championship winning team. Matthias and Sebastian up on their feet.
That's
and that's costly from
so costly.
Simon.
Matthias can smell victory here.
Now keep in mind, Sean, we
Running
do
away.
still have one substitution remaining for both these teams. Obviously, with 12 minutes to go, both
I
teams
say
certain to
screw it.
exercise that.
I say screw it. Put Coach Dylan and Sam on this last substitution. As Simon displays frustration there.
Dylan Cunningham, great player in his own right at Franklin and Marshall. Tried his hand in the Pro Tour a little bit. He's gotten very into powerlifting, though. I don't know if he's quite in squash shape at this time.
Call out from Jackson here.
Who knows? Who knows? Who am I to say, Sean?
This lead is.
Wow. Needed that. Needed it badly. And Sean, to our left, Sebastian Bohmai is getting warmed up.
Wow.
Looks like he's going to close things out for the Knights.
Rory is really, he's running away with this.
This is a long shift for the Scotsman. He's fought hard. Obviously, New York, smart to call those two Matthias Knudsen power plays, but they subbed him right off after that. So that means that the last 2 shifts for New York were going to be long. We knew that going in, and Rory's played for a while here. It's a matter of time until he checks off. It's going to be a long closing shift for Ballmeyer, too. We're 2/3 through period number 3. History on the line. The opportunity to win the first ever NSL championship hanging in the balance. Thank you for joining us live on the NSL YouTube channel, US Squash YouTube channel, and Home Team Live. No lets. That ball was tight, Sean. Was interference. Is he taking the right line to the ball?
What a get, Jackson. Wow. What a get. Jackson, where was this during the power play?
Great get. He's kept it straight.
Good time for substitution. That was tough work from Rory as he pats on his teammate. What a performance by him.
Is still in the zone. You can see him walking off. He's still in a total flow state.
I'm telling you, he's going to the gym right now.
He's going to take a moment to himself.
He's running like 10 miles over there on the treadmill.
Reflect on that great effort. couple of legacy minutes coming up here for Simon Herbert. Timmy Brownell warming up. He's going to close things out.
Jackson, you think Coach Rob Bowen's monitoring this game?
That's a great question.
What would you have to say about Simon's games today?
Rob Bowen is up at all hours of the night.
You make this into a gambling affair, I'm sure he'll tune in.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's almost midnight in England right now, but I would not count out the professional gambler, Rob Owen, the coach of Simon Herbert, the top coaches in the world. Been known to text his pupils 3 in the morning, local time, wherever they may be playing.
Simon cutting into the lead.
Quietly, only a 5-point lead now for New York. Oh, he can't have that. He gestures once again to his forehead. It's not the shot there, Simon.
It might be worth putting perhaps Timmy or Ronald, who's been playing out his mind today.
We are certainly getting ready to see a substitution in the next moment or two. That's a big shot from Simon.
18-23.
Simon's moments are numbered in this matchup. It's been up and down for him all day. Do want to highlight the ups. There have been many. They've come in bunches. Wow!
Got that.
See, how many players are getting that ball back?
Wow, what a...
How has he turned that around to be in an attacking position 3 shots later?
Final substitution. This will be the final matchup here.
It's Brownell. It's Beaumayer to decide the NSL championship. The roof is about to come off this place, Sean. Timmy takes a deep breath. He knows a tall task is ahead of him.
No more substitutions. 7 minutes and 15 seconds of just squash.
Ryan Leslie.
Just squash.
Signature just squash. People picked up on that last night, the women's exhibition match. He's been doing it all year, folks. And a Ryan Leslie appreciator, an advocate, a fan.
Timmy knowing this court way too well.
Yeah, it's once again a stroke of fortune. Home court advantage, perhaps.
Won the U.S. National Championships twice here.
Yes, he did.
And also probably practices here.
Yeah, Sean, obviously neutral site, so the crowd very into it, but not necessarily favoring one team over the other. Maybe favoring Timmy and Nashville just a little bit. Worth noting, 5 of the 6 regular season matchups this year won by the home team. So very interesting to see this match taking place now in a neutral court.
Now this is going to be just straight quality stuff here as we are going to crown the NSL champion in 6 minutes, 26 seconds.
So the 2 highest ranked players.
It's all business
in this matchup, and it's all business between these 2. 5 points. This would be probably the greatest comeback we've seen in the NSL. Timmy checking on with 7 minutes to go down.
I mean, we've seen Timmy's ability during the Team USA Team World with Victor, as Timmy was able to scalp that victory.
Good flick there. Love that angle.
It's a very attritional rally as they're easing into this final period of the third.
Well, Timmy a bit shaky now. He's gone the wrong way there, but he's adjusted. It's a beautiful drop shot. This is a massive rally. And he's gone for the signature boast. And he's put him away, finally. Beaumayer's movement is not enough. Nashville Crushers owner Jonathan Dyke is out of his seat. The crowd goes wild. Timmy cuts the deficit to 4. Timmy loves that drop shot where it kind of cracks out into the middle. It's so tough to move and get that back and read that.
Way to go for Sebastian to play that ball. So many players would have opted not to.
Great call, Sean. Wow. Beaumayer giving Brownell a taste of his own medicine. New York back out to a 5-point lead.
Tense times. I'm getting nervous, Jackson.
Sean. I barely hear myself think.
Plenty of time left. Plenty of time left.
Quite rowdy. Hair standing up on my arms. Yeah, Timmy can't be too concerned with the clock here. 4 minutes and 30 seconds left. He's got to play his game. Game that won him the second U.S. National Championship last week. And it's taken him so far at such a young age. Once again, a lot of players not playing through that contact, Sean. It's good to see these two guys want to win on their merits. Duking things out here.
Way to move him around the court.
Wow, it's Ballmaye's movement. I can't remember the last time I've seen a player move this well, Sean. This is absolutely outrageous.
Oh, you got that. You got that.
What a rally.
It's been a lengthy affair.
We've seen
Past
many great rallies. This is the rally of the day. There's no doubt about that, Sean. He's gone for the nick.
Wow.
Delivers the center post as he falls over. Do you believe it?
What a shot.
Oh my goodness! Sean, this match has lived up to all the hype and then some. These two gentlemen showing us what the NSL is all about. Another massive rally.
What a shot. I still can't get over it.
It's the shot of the year in the National Squash League. That's one of the great rallies we've ever seen on a squash court.
Timmy needed that.
Unbelievable
As
stuff.
the momentum completely swung to Sebastian's side for a sec there. 2
I'm
minutes,
still in
30
shock.
seconds.
I got to lock back in here, Sean. That was unbelievable.
These two players ranked so closely in the rankings. Could not have a better matchup here to wrap this finals up.
Oh, this is such quality. How is he getting this back?
My goodness.
Oh, how is Timmy not falling over from fatigue right now?
He
This
is.
is just these two gentlemen.
Legs are looking heavy now.
Legs are heavy, but Timmy knows he needs this rally. Wow. Timmy fighting with everything he has left. He's going to empty this gas tank. 1:38 to go. Oh, Ballmaye just digging these balls back. I don't know if we're even going to see 3 more rallies.
Two-point
Wow.
lead.
Sean, Ballmaye has looked so good, but it hasn't mattered because Timmy is killing it out
Coach
here.
Dillon is up from his seat. Does not intend to sit down anymore.
Timmy Brownell, gutsy. There's the signature boast. Oh my goodness, Sean! I can hardly contain my excitement. Brownell
goodness.
checked on down 6. Ballmaye has been lights out all day.
Needs to reset here.
Timmy's got to keep his foot on the gas. He cannot relent here. He can't get overly excited. He's played brilliantly these last 3 minutes. Oh, that is so brutal. That ball did just sneak out, I fear. And now, Sean, if this rally lasts over 40 seconds, New York is guaranteed to win. So Timmy kind of has to keep
smelling
that in
that
the back of his
victory.
mind. Oh, that was a bit tight. It's a great shot from Ballmaye. I think that's too good from Sebastian to warrant a stroke. Oh, the clock is a factor. Timmy can't just rally this out. Oh, he's gone for a couple nicks here. Oh, the boast!
My God,
Ballmaye
it is
is
so
a
hard to put him away.
Machine. And that will do it! Sebastian Ballmaye, heroics in the NSL Finals. A cinematic finish, and the New York City Knights cap off an undefeated season as the first ever NSL champions.
Sebastian dances away.
Rory Stewart, classy, hugging team owner Elizabeth Hill, joining in on the celebration. What a moment from the U.S. Squash Arlen Specter Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. A place that Matthias Knudsen knows all too well. Played college squash for 5 years here, right across the street at Drexel. John White watches on. His college coach, Dylan White, disappointed. Dylan Cunningham, rather, the Nashville coach. Matthias's coach in college.
Could not have wrote that better. Wow.
Rory
what
Stewart,
an
what an
there.
effort.
What a grand finale
Sebastian
there.
Beaumayer. Sean, I don't know if I've ever seen an individual move as well on a squash court as Sebastian Beaumayer moved here today on glass on the H. Chase Lenfest court here at Specter.
As we get ahead to the trophy presentation, guys, what an honor and pleasure it has been for Jackson and I to commentate for
It's been a joy.
This entire season, and it's been a complete privilege on our end to watch such quality squash in a new format and bring excitement to squash all over the U.S. and really, truly more exciting things to come next year as we will reveal what's happening next. But Jackson, what a final that was. What a final.
Sean, I got to catch my breath.
That was amazing.
Sean, apropos for
Screw
us
the
to have
PSA World Tour Finals. That was the highlight of the entire week.
Sean, I said it yesterday. I'm more of a PlayStation guy myself, but wow. Oh, I got to stand up and stretch these legs. I can't believe that finish. I can't believe this season. I cannot believe, as we see the highlights from today's matchup, how successful this thing has been.
I mean, if you want to just watch top entertaining squash, just watch the last 5 minutes of that final third period.
Sean, that third period was the period of the year.
Sebastian running away with the shot of the year. And
reverse
a gutsy win.
Leisure Center boast as he fell over. Timmy had
Where
a
are the champagne
bottles?
bottles? Where are the champagne bottles?
Sean, you know a thing or two about champagne bottles, wouldn't you? As
classy as ever from Team Nashville.
Classic Timmy Brownell fist pump. Saw a few of those here tonight. Timmy, what a comeback. It just wasn't enough. It did make up 3 points of ground on Beaumayer in those final minutes. He played some of the best squash I've ever seen. And that's the shot of the year to cap off the rally of the year in the NSL that you guys just saw, folks.
I mean, what an amazing crowd in attendance here. What a final. What a final.
Sean, we're happy for the New York City Knights. 3 class acts. Make that 4 if you count Sam Sherrill. As Ashby Howard, thank you, hands us the final statistics for this evening's contest between the New York City Knights and the Nashville Crushers. And once again, Rory Stewart led the way in the scoring column for the Knights.
Good spirits in the New York Knights. Oh, Nashville.
Got to give our condolences and our flowers. I'm sorry to interrupt, Sean, go ahead.
No, Nashville Crushers. Got to give a hand to them as well for fighting till the end. I think there were a lot of people doubting that, including me, that I didn't really think they had a shot here, but completely proved me wrong. I thought that could have gone either way at the end there. Maybe 2 more minutes could have made all the difference for Timmy.
Sean,
as time was a factor.
Absolutely. I'm just overjoyed because the quality was so high from both teams.
As
Nashville was so strong all night. New York so strong all night. We're signing off for the year. Sean, it's been a pleasure doing this with you. Thank you to our bosses, to our partners with the NSL. Here's Ryan Leslie to close out the broadcast.
And the first ever National Squash League champions, the New York Knights. championship trophy, I am honored to invite up from the Kline and Specter, Shannon Specter.
Wow, what an epic conclusion to the first season of the National Squash League. Applause to both teams.
You know, I look at the words up here on the girder right next to the scoreboard. You're never too far behind to win and never too far ahead to lose. And I'm sure that everybody in here felt that way today because that was really, really close. Really close. And so exciting and so inspirational. So inspirational. So it's my great pleasure to present the trophy for the inaugural season champion, New York Knights, to Liz. You're welcome. Say some words.
Thank you to everyone for coming out and supporting this new league. We had a lot of great squash throughout the season. Could not have had a more close match. Thank you to the Nashville Crushers, and a huge thank you to the New York Knights.
All right, and with that said, we are here to announce the league MVP from the season. Tonight, he was the man of the match, and if he did not put on such a performance, I don't know what else could win him the MVP of the league. Everybody, please give a round of applause from France, Sebastian the Flash Bonmaret. Well, Sebastian, your nickname is The Flash, and I think tonight we saw exactly why you were named The Flash. Tonight, an incredible performance. Timmy had you under some pressure there in the last 8 minutes, but you hunted everything down and came out as the man of the match. What propelled you to play so stellar this evening?
First of all, I like The Flash. Flash is a good nickname for me, I think. I love the series and I love the characters, so thanks. I don't know who find this name for me, but thank you. And yeah, I want to thank all the team because we all did a good effort today. Matthias with the power play was perfect. Sam with the coaching tactically was perfect as well. Very solid, didn't lose no points. So yeah, and then I know how to run and defend as much as possible. And Timmy and all the guys on the team are very good and they could hit really good winners. So yeah, we're very happy to be from the team and win the first national champion. And yeah, I'll be here next year. I hope.
Thank you, everybody. One more round of applause for Sebastian the Flash Bonmaret. And I would like to invite up real quick to say a few words, the commissioner and founder of the National Squash League, Fernando Baldazan.
Thanks, Ryan. Thank you, everybody, for coming. I'm not going to go through the list of thanking everybody here that has been a part of this since the beginning. You guys know who you are. It's been a long ride to this finals, and it honestly, I was a fan at the end. I forgot who I was, and I was going to watch this because it was amazing. That finish was absolutely epic. And I just want to thank, the only two people I want to thank right now is because they put so much work into this, is Spencer Lovejoy and Timmy Brownell. This is their baby. I've just helped them kind of put this together, but honestly, guys, they put so much work into this that you guys don't see. Every single day, we're on calls, we're talking to people. I mean, there's not a day where they're not putting in 8-hour shifts, and they have a pro career that they're also doing. So honestly, guys, please give them a hand. And next year, guys, we're going to 9 men's teams. We're going to 4 women's teams. We're including the women. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the exhibition last night with the women's team. Just a little preview of what's going to happen next year. And we're going to have a lot more to show you guys next year. And without further ado, we are going to give the blazers out to the winners. Rory, come get your blazer, please.
From Scotland, the Taunton Trailblazer, Rory Stewart.
I'm not taking this off.
And from Colombia, the spin bender himself, Matthias Knudsen. And last but certainly not least, he's the league MVP. Please give a round of applause from France, the Flash, Sebastian O'Malley. It's a cool thing to do. Thank you to our sponsors at J Press. Some have blue blazers, some have out green jackets. But our champions got a J Press blazer. Ladies and gentlemen, one more round of applause for your National Squash League champions, the New York Knights. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the National Squash League inaugural season. Thank you for your support. Thank you for coming out. And we will see you next time as we get on with season number 2. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
One law firm, Kline and Specter, has obtained 6 of the 8 largest jury verdicts in Pennsylvania in the last 5 years. So if a defective product, motor vehicle accident, or medical malpractice caused a catastrophic injury, call Kline and Specter.
America's resort, the Greenbrier, has a long reputation as an incredible place to stay, but it's also the perfect spot to get outside and play. Amazing experiences are found around every corner of the picturesque 11,000-acre property, and there's something for every age and interest. Enjoy a new pursuit or relish an old favorite at an iconic property where magical memories are made each day. To explore the more than 55 activities available and plan your next adventure, visit greenbrier.com today.
Driving the most important initiatives for the growth of squash in the United States.